Hi there, everyone. Here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9.
Mercy Hospital Joplin hosts walk-in COVID-19 vaccine clinics. I'm Zach Dodge with how they're being able to do it. Coming up.
The next coronavirus relief bill could be signed into law as early as tomorrow. I'm Ray Bilgan in Washington with a look at the final steps to getting it approved. Coming up.
Doug Hetty has weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. Joplin police investigate a stabbing at the 100 block of South Byers Avenue. According to JPD, an adult man was found stabbed just before midnight last night in the middle of the road. EMS crews took the victim to the hospital where he underwent surgery. He was last reported in stable condition. Police have arrested a suspect. Anderson, Missouri police say a suspect shot at an officer during a chase on Saturday. Police say an officer tried to stop a maroon Jeep on Route F and Highway 59 in Anderson. The driver didn't stop and the chase continued to the intersection of Anderson Street and West State Highway 76. Police say at that point, a passenger in the SUV got out and shot at the officer with a shotgun. The officer returned fire and the passenger got back in the car. Police say the passenger got out again about 100 yards away, but this time they ran. Police did not find the suspects, but they did find the abandoned SUV and shotgun. Authorities say the officer was injured and was taken to the hospital. Newton County, Missouri Sheriff's Office is investigating reports of 2 people fraudulently claiming to work for the sheriff. Authorities say a man and a woman are driving around in a 4-door sedan with yellow and black badge logo and the words Newton County Judicial on it. Witnesses say the couple are demanding to enter people's homes, claiming to be looking for someone. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the Newton County Sheriff's Office. Doug Hetty joining us now with our first look at the forecast. You weren't kidding yesterday when you said it was going to be windy. It's outrageous out there.
Yeah, it's super windy across the region. It's going to stay windy for us tonight and then again into the daytime hours tomorrow. 74 is what we topped out for today. I think it'll be just a hair cooler tomorrow just because the clouds are going to be thicker, but still, it's going to be a pretty nice day. Most of us are sitting into the mid-60s right now. We will not drop off much at all just due to the strong southerly winds which are kicking in. Still, we got sustained winds in that 15 to 25 mile per hour range, and then we're getting gusts a little bit higher than that. Have a lot of clouds, a few little showers which are trying to pop up. A lot of that is not reaching the ground, but we'll have increased chances for some showers late tonight into tomorrow morning. Let's go through time. Most of tonight, just clouds. But by morning, we could get a few random showers that try to work through, and then we'll get some sunshine by the afternoon. Of course, we're going to break this down for you here in just a bit.
Thanks as always, Doug. Mercy Hospital offers a COVID-19 vaccine walk-in clinic. The hospital held clinics yesterday and today open to Missouri residents eligible, of course, for the vaccine. But we've heard from some residents with questions about the clinic and the hospital's waiting list specifically. KOAM Zach Dodge asked the hospital, and Zach has some answers.
Joplin resident Karen Hemingford saw an opportunity and took it.
I was just ready to be vaccinated.
She wasn't on any waiting lists and didn't have an appointment, but was one of several to get a dose of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine at a walk-in clinic at Mercy.
Like everybody else, ready to get on with things, get out. I love to travel. Haven't been able to do that.
It's been very busy, but it's been exciting too to try and reach those individuals that haven't been able to get the vaccine so far.
Boyd explains that a recent shipment of Pfizer vaccine was used to get doses to eligible residents on their waiting list, as well as hold the walk-in clinic so they can make sure no one is missed.
Really, we're trying to work through reaching those individuals with the vaccine that we have available, knowing that we're getting ready on Monday the 15th to move into that next phase.
But some viewers have reached out to KOAM, saying they've been on Mercy's waiting list and should be eligible, but haven't received a call from the hospital.
It's technology, unfortunately. So whether or not our list may not be functioning properly, or if questions weren't necessarily, boxes weren't checked the way that they should be, even zip code, because we do have to only vaccinate Missouri residents at this time. And so if they feel like they should be receiving their vaccine and they have signed up on mercy.net but haven't received a call, please go ahead and call us or come on in. And we want to try and get them taken care of.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Boyd also says that out of the roughly 1,100 doses in the last shipment, around 800 were given to those walk-in patients. Mercy has administered roughly 10,000 doses of vaccine altogether. In newly released recommendations, the CDC is making a big push to stop Americans from traveling, while also saying it's okay for fully vaccinated people to visit their families. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Seary has more now from Atlanta.
There are now more fully vaccinated Americans than confirmed COVID cases. More than 31 million people have gotten their second dose so far, prompting the CDC to issue new guidelines for getting life back to normal. The highlights: fully vaccinated people can gather without masks, families can visit grandparents who are vaccinated, and transmission of the virus by vaccinated people is rare.
The risk of transmitting COVID-19 if you're vaccinated is really low. We've seen that in Israel studies. We've seen that in United Kingdom studies.
But the guidance also recommends against travel and strongly suggests mask wearing in public, even among those fully vaccinated, drawing mixed reactions from folks across the country.
I felt a little bit safer about coming to work and then coming home.
Take the shot, but still wear the mask. So what's the point of the shot?
The guidelines come as the biggest vaccination project in American history is accelerating. The daily average is close to 2.2 million shots. Next week, Moderna is expected to start trials for the first vaccine targeting a COVID-19 variant. But health officials say existing vaccines should provide some protection against these variants.
There are two issues there: the variant, as opposed to the level of antibody against wild type, which you will assume will give you some cross protection against the variant.
Moderna also announced a new deal to boost production by 60 to 90 million doses in 2021. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seary, Fox News.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson today signed a legislation banning nearly all abortions in the state. Supporters hope it's going to force the U.S. Supreme Court to revisit Roe v. Wade. The bill only allows the procedure to save the life of the mother and does not provide exceptions for those impregnated by rape or incest. The legislation won't take effect until this summer at the earliest. Abortion rights supporters say they plan to challenge the ban in court before then. Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt today announced he's going to run for governor in 2022. Schmidt is the first Republican to announce their bid for the governorship. The AG has been a frequent foe, so to speak, of Governor Laura Kelly during the pandemic, sparring with her over key issues like the statewide mask mandate, also regulations closing churches. The White House is expressing optimism about the COVID-19 relief package that could soon be signed into law. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan reports from Washington.
The White House says Americans could start to receive their coronavirus stimulus payments by the end of the month.
The IRS and Bureau of the Fiscal Service are building on lessons learned from previous rounds to increase the number of households that will get electronic payments, which are substantially faster than checks.
The bill has one more stop before presidential signature in the House of Representatives. It needs to be approved with the Senate's changes, and in a closely divided chamber, Democrats can only lose 4 votes to pass it without Republican support.
I'm 110% confident that the votes exist to pass the American Rescue Plan.
President Biden visited a Washington, D.C. business that received Paycheck Protection Program funding. The president says he wants to make it easier for businesses with 20 or fewer employees to get a loan, especially women and minority-owned businesses.
Getting people who, in fact, weren't able to get in line before, and it's hard to know how to get in line.
The bill includes billions for schools, vaccines, and protective equipment. But Republicans don't like it because they say there are too many items unrelated to the pandemic, nor do they support the funding continuing for years into the future.
We need to focus on making sure we have targeted relief to support small businesses, to support schools, and making sure that we're reopening up safely. We don't need to have these pet partisan projects.
The House vote is expected tomorrow around 9 a.m. In Washington, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor one of our 4 state heroes. Robert Harding served in the U.S. Army from 1951 to 53. He earned several awards. We are very proud to thank and salute Corporal Robert Harding, a native of Joplin, by the way. He's tonight's 4 state hero. Doug is on deck with a complete look at the forecast. Plus, it's a big night of high school basketball playoffs right here in the 4 states. Going to have all the scores and highlights in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a mild and windy day for us today. The winds gusting at times 40 to 45 miles per hour, and it's going to stay very windy once again throughout the overnight hours tonight, and then even into the daytime hours for us on Wednesday. Great time lapse, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We had some clouds, which rolled in late in the day, but in general, it turned out to be a pretty good day. Temperatures still up there, most of us 63, 64 degrees, and we're just not really going to drop off much tonight due to these strong southerly winds continuing to kick in. So what that's going to do is keep our temperatures up. In fact, I don't think we'll drop off more than about 60 degrees for an overnight low. A lot of clouds. Underneath it, most of us are dry. There's a few random sprinkles, mainly in our northern counties, but a few showers may try to get going late tonight into tomorrow morning. But the bulk of this system isn't even going to affect us until as we head toward the weekend. But we have these weak waves which are kicking out ahead of it, and as those push in, that's going to increase our chances for showers and thunderstorms over the next few days. But the main system off the coast of California, and that will start to affect us, especially by the weekend. Look at the winds. These are going to be gusts 40 upwards to 50 once again tonight into tomorrow morning, and really through the daytime hours tomorrow, we're going to have winds gusting 40 to about 45 miles per hour. Let's go through time. Clouds tonight, but you can see a few random showers trying to pick up late tonight into tomorrow morning, mainly on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. Some random showers stick around into the morning, and then I think we'll get a little bit of sunshine as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures still very close to what we had today, starting at 60, 66 by noon, high temp of 70. But look at the winds, south winds at about 20 to 30, and we're going to have those high gusts once again. Thunderstorms will start to get going in our northern and western counties tomorrow evening, and then kind of pushing in a few batches of showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could be strong, maybe even low-grade severe, so we want to watch that as we head into tomorrow night. And then we'll have showers and a few random thunderstorms lasting into Thursday morning, and then I think we'll get a little bit of a break by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. But for tomorrow, we do have at least a low severe threat. This is mainly along and north of I-44 tomorrow night. But I'm going to keep tornado threat, hail threat, wind threat all on the low side. I think these are going to be very hit and miss storms, but some of them can be fairly strong. We get the little bit of break late Thursday, and then rain moves right back in Thursday night into Friday. We get showers, we get thunderstorms across the region into Saturday, and then the strongest part of the wave finally rolls out on Sunday, and by Sunday, we'll also have at least a low severe threat. 70 tomorrow, 65 Thursday, 62 Friday. A little bit cooler for the weekend, and then back to 60 next Tuesday, but you can see those rain chances each and every day.
Yeah, you go outside, Doug Hetty, and those wind gusts that you were showing earlier seem very realistic. 50 miles an hour. It's unbelievable.
Super windy.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks so much, Doug.
Yep.
Coming up, court proceeds in the George Floyd murder trial.
The trial for the former officer charged for kneeling on George Floyd's neck has begun. I'm Matt Finn in Minneapolis. Why the plug may be pulled on the entire operation.
There's now at least 2 jurors seated on the jury of the former Minneapolis officer charged in George Floyd's death. Jury selection got underway today, but as Fox News correspondent Matt Finn reports from Minneapolis, the entire trial could be pulled.
Jury selection is underway in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer charged in George Floyd's death.
So your job, if you were to be selected as a juror in this case, would be to hear all of the evidence in this case.
Defense attorney Eric Nelson used one of his 15 challenges to dismiss the first potential juror, a mother of 3 from Mexico, who said she saw the video of Floyd's arrest and didn't understand why Chauvin remained on top of Floyd.
What I feel, that's not fair because we are humans, you know, and he said, hey, I can breathe.
The first juror to be selected is a Caucasian male in his 20s or 30s, a chemist who describes himself as logical. Other potential jurors must demonstrate they can fairly view the case evidence, making seating an impartial jury a challenge for attorneys in this case. The video of Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes last May
I cannot breathe.
was seen worldwide and sparked global protests. The judge is moving ahead with the trial process despite waiting for an appellate court decision on whether the entire trial will be delayed over a possible third-degree murder charge for Chauvin. Chauvin is currently charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter in Floyd's death. The judge set aside 3 weeks for the jury selection process. Opening arguments in the trial of George Floyd's death are expected March 29th. In Minneapolis, Matt Finn, Fox News.
Just ahead, a royal statement.
A much-awaited response from Buckingham Palace after Prince Harry and Meghan's explosive interview. I'm Ryan Chilcote in London, and I'll have the latest on what the Queen had to say. Coming up.
Britain's royal family rocked by Prince Harry and Meghan's tell-all interview with Oprah. And now the Queen has broken her silence, responding to the shocking accusations made by the couple. Fox News correspondent Ryan Chilcote has more now from London.
Buckingham Palace breaking their silence as the Queen releases a statement following Prince Harry and Meghan's bombshell interview with Oprah. The Queen saying the couple's accusations will be addressed by the family privately. The statement reading in part, quote, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much-loved family members."
It's a terribly difficult position and puts Her Majesty back into her sense of duty and her sense of being a grandmother.
The couple claiming they were mistreated by the institution, and the lack of support from the family was a contributing factor that led to their departure. During the 2-hour interview, Meghan shared that she felt so isolated during her pregnancy that she became suicidal, and said that members of the family expressed concerns over her child's potential skin tone, while denying both Harry and his son security despite continued threats.
Absolute disgrace. And Harry, a soldier, fought for his country, and this is the way you treat him. Utter disgrace.
Markle's father also speaking out Tuesday morning, saying he has doubts about Harry and Meghan's claims of racism within the palace walls.
It could be somebody asked a stupid question rather than being a total racist.
More than 17 million people tuned in for Sunday's interview. Another 11 million watched in Britain. In London, Ryan Chilcote, Fox News.
All right, so after this break, if you collect basketball cards, you might want to check out your collection. Here's why. A Kobe Bryant rookie card just sold for a record amount of money. Look at this. A rookie card of the late Kobe Bryant sells for nearly $1.8 million. Golden Auctions, an online auction house, says that's a record-setting amount for any Bryant card. The item comes from Topps and is a chrome refractors edition that was sold between 1996 and 1997. Officials say the card is in, quote, a condition assessment of unsurpassable magnitude. Baseball cards was my thing. That's something, though. Wow. All right, 30 more minutes. News, weather, and sports coming away. Going to take a look at Missouri Southern's COVID-19 protocols for this year's spring break. Plus, area law enforcement agencies tour a facility that's going to offer them new resources when dealing with mental health crisis calls. Spring break is just around the corner. This break in particular presents a risk of students bringing COVID-19 back to campus. KOAM's Brian Sorotsky has more on how a local university is going to address this and try keeping their campus safe while also giving students a well-deserved break.
Spring break is normally a time for students to have a week to unwind from the pressure of academics. For college students, it means going home or on trips. But as the pandemic lingers, doing so could potentially trigger a rise in COVID-19 cases. That's what happened at Missouri Southern last fall.
So when it came to fall break, we didn't have a quarantine afterwards, and we saw that there was an increase in cases. What we did for our Thanksgiving break is that we actually took the last 2 weeks of our classes, so finals as well, and we made them online.
Haley Ward, a member of the university's COVID-19 task force, says there is concern that the campus could see this again.
There are definitely concerns, and that is something that we have talked about on the COVID task force.
They don't know if they will have students quarantine upon their return to campus yet, but place an emphasis on using their Campus Clear app.
Campus Clear is an app that our health center uses with IT to basically track our symptoms and let you know if if there's anything wrong, when you should go to the health center.
Due to the virus, senior pre-med student Cade Winfrey plans to stay on campus and will use the break to take care of personal business.
This year I knew spring break would look a little different. So like what I did is I planned like all my appointments, like medical and like dental. And
he says although there is concern for a spike in cases, the break is important for students' mental health.
The best option is to like give students this break because we figure at this point the most detrimental thing is like endanger students' mental health.
The university just hopes that anyone planning to travel for the break practices habits like mask wearing and social distancing. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
MSSU's spring break is going to be from March 22nd until the 26th. Joplin Chamber of Commerce President Toby Teeter is taking a shot at bringing GM to town. General Motors. Teeter tweeted a proposal to the automaker to build its next battery facility in Joplin. He touted the city's history in battery production and some financial incentives in the pitch. Those incentives come mostly from workforce savings, and according to the Choose Joplin website, would total around $200 million. It was recently announced that GM is building a second battery facility, though according to a report from Detroit Free Press, the company is eyeing a site in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Joplin Public Library has a new strategic plan that goes through 2025. Something like this helps the library pinpoint how to direct its energy and resources. This plan calls for streamlining internal processes, better connecting with businesses, and being more welcoming for new card holders.
Just us doing having a better relationship with our organizations in the community, having partnership organizations, and just really fine-tuning those agreements and things together as well. So it's not only things that you're going to find in the building, it's also a relationship with our community.
Library also has a new mission statement, quote, "Our library opens tomorrow's doors today through diverse opportunities to learn, create, explore, and have fun." Local law enforcement agencies today toured the Freeman Ozark Center's Urgent Behavioral Solutions facility. The facility is an urgent care for specifically behavioral health issues. When someone experiencing a behavioral health crisis calls 911, this facility gives authorities a different option for where to take them. Officials with Carl Junction PD say the extra resources will come in handy.
We need all the resources we can get in that field. I would say our people in crisis in the past years probably tripled, where we didn't have a lot of issues in our town. Normally, we're seeing 1, 2, 3 a week at times.
Urgent Behavioral Solutions is also open to anyone ages 16 and older experiencing significant behavioral health symptoms. Something new in Pittsburgh. Instead of an art walk, there's going to be an art crawl. Local artists will be displaying their work in several businesses across Pittsburgh, hopefully allowing for more social distancing. It's going to be Saturday, May 1st until Saturday, May 8th.
I know there are definitely like a few people that would rather we have it our regular way, but they're just happy that we're having an event as opposed to, last year we had to cancel both events and we did a virtual art walk online in October, but yeah, everybody's really missing the full-blown event, but people are also respecting the whole social distance aspect of it too. So,
organizers say in order for this event to work and continue, people should still wear those masks and social distance 6 feet apart. Well, the number of unaccompanied children showing up at the southern border has spiked over the past few weeks. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott toured the area and delivered a message to the Biden administration. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins is at a port of entry in Mexico with more on this situation.
This crisis is a result of President Biden's open border policies.
During his visit to the southern border, Texas Governor Greg Abbott blasted the Biden administration's immigration policies.
It invites illegal immigration and is creating a humanitarian crisis in Texas right now that will grow increasingly worse by the day.
Abbott's remarks come as the number of unaccompanied migrant children swells along the U.S.-Mexico border. The Border Patrol is reportedly holding more than 3,000 migrant children, nearly triple the number from just 2 weeks ago. That's according to new data expected to be announced this week, including that there were close to 100,000 apprehensions between port entries last month. Still, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has denied the surge constitutes a crisis.
At this point, is this a crisis at the border?
Look, I don't think we need to sit here and put new labels on what we have already conveyed is challenging. What we have conveyed is a top priority for the president.
While the Biden administration has pledged to overhaul Trump administration policies and implement a more humane immigration system, Republicans say it's not working.
Policy has consequences. When you say that you're not going to enforce our immigration laws, when you say that you're not going to build a border wall, it has consequences. And we're seeing the tragic consequences of that right now at the border.
By law, the Border Patrol cannot keep migrant children in custody for longer than 72 hours. In Matamoros, Mexico, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
A bit later, this pandemic causing something else.
Hundreds of healthcare workers across the country are on strike. I'm Jackie Ibanez with more on what they're demanding and what hospitals are doing to account for their losses. Coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a very mild day for us today. Also on the windy side, winds were gusting 40, upwards of 45 miles per hour at times, which is kind of crazy, but it's going to stay very breezy for us during the overnight hours tonight. We had sunshine for the first half of the day, and then we finally got some clouds in here by the time the evening rolled around, but our temperatures are staying up. Most of us 63, 64, 65 degrees, and our temperatures really just aren't going to drop off much for us tonight. Look at the winds, still south winds at 15 to 25, and then you can look at the gust, and most of us are getting wind gusts 40 upwards to 45 miles per hour throughout the day. They've diminished a little bit since the sun is set, but it's going to stay breezy as we go through the daytime hours on Wednesday. A lot of clouds have been rolling in over the past couple hours, and you can even see a few random little shower in our northern counties. Most of us are going to stay dry tonight. This is just the beginning of all the energy that is starting to kick out. We got this first little chunk of energy, but the main system way out to the west off the coast of California, that's not even going to pass through until Sunday. So ahead of it, it's going to spin these little chunks of energy out at us, and we're going to have chances for rain. All right, wind gusts still tonight. Winds gusting near 40, and then I think tomorrow 40, maybe upwards to 45 miles per hour. So the winds are going to stay very strong. Clouds stick around tonight. Very slight chance we could see a random shower late tonight. A little better shot for a spotty shower tomorrow morning. And then we break out, see partly sunny skies, and warm up again. Most of us 70 to about 75 in our western counties. 60 to start, 66 by noon. High temp at 70, south winds again at 20 to 30. Now tomorrow evening, showers and thunderstorms develop along the front. So the front at 8 p.m. is right about through Yates Center and then back south of Wichita. So along this, we'll get scattered showers and thunderstorms that will continue to roll through tomorrow night. Some of these could be strong, maybe even low-grade severe. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Showers continue into Thursday morning, and then I think we'll get a break by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. All right, severe threat, again, it's very low tomorrow night, but still something we want to watch, mainly north of Interstate 44, but I'm going to keep the threats on the low side. But again, something that has my attention. So we get the break late Thursday. Rain moves back in on Friday. Showers, thunderstorms, especially in our southern counties, better chances for thunderstorms. Look at the front, stays right on top of us through Saturday. More bouts of rain, and then the main system kicks through on Sunday. That's going to give us a better chance for bigger showers and thunderstorms as we head into Sunday afternoon. So very wet pattern, 70 tomorrow, 65 Thursday, 62 on Friday. Also check this out. Here's rainfall amounts just over the next 4 or 5 days. A lot of areas are going to pick up 3, 4, if not 5 inches of rain. So a lot of rain out of these storm systems, but rain chances stick around through the weekend all the way into the middle part of next week.
Great temperature for tomorrow. It's just that wind, as you were saying.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to what we saw today.
All right, Doug, thank you.
You bet.
Coming up in sports, Segalina boys aiming to return to the Final Four in the 3A state tournament. Plus, the Colgan girls aiming to make program history. Jacob Leonard joins us with those details next.
The Galena boys made the Final Four last season, but the pandemic cut their season short before they actually got a chance to play in the state semifinals. Now tonight, Galena has a shot to return to the Final Four, hosting Wellsville in the 3A quarterfinals. In the first, Brett Sarwinski reverse layup and the foul. First points of the night for Galena. Still in the first quarter, Tyler Little rebound in the putback. Little had 12 points, 16 rebounds in this one. Home team up 6. Into the second quarter now, Deacon Henson, short little pull-up. Then Henson back to work, gets the steal. Goes on ahead and finishes with the left. Galena going back to the Final Four for the second straight season, winning 55-48. The Pittsburgh boys back in the state tournament again this year. They are at DeSoto in the 5A quarterfinals. And Javon Grant gets 23 points tonight. The Pittsburgh season comes to an end 67-42. On the girls' side, the Colgan Panthers host Barine Academy in the 2A quarterfinals this evening. It's a rare chance for Colgan to play at home in the state tournament and a chance for this team to make program history. The Colgan girls hit the floor against Barine Academy Tuesday night. The Panthers aim for their first ever state tournament win.
Make them not want to come back to Pittsburgh, Kansas, all right?
First quarter, Lily Brown, rebound, put back and the foul. Game tied at 7 going to the second. In the second, Riley Root, 3-ball gives Colgan the lead. Barine Academy, though, up 3 at halftime.
Let's go, energy, let's go, 16 minutes, do not let up, all right? I want you to good diving bodies. If that ball's on the floor, you better be on the floor. You got this right now.
Into the third, the senior, Caitlin Crossland, beats the buzzer. Panthers within 2 going to the fourth.
Come on, guys, this is our game! Panthers!
In the fourth, Lauren Yagmore, nice look to Brown. Colgan gets in front and doesn't look back. Panthers get their first ever state tournament win, 41-34.
Can't describe the feeling. You know, it's something that I've never experienced in my life as a player, as a coach. It just means so much. What you guys showed tonight was total grit. You never thought you were out of that game. I'm so happy. I don't even know what to say. Thank you. It only took 10 years, right? So now we're there. We're not done. What did I tell you? We're not going to lose another game, right? We're not going to lose another game, okay? I don't know who we play. I don't even know who it would be. Once we beat Girard the last game, I told them we weren't going to lose another game, and that's our goal, not to lose another game. You know, we control our own destiny. And, you know, once you get up there, anything's possible. And this, we've never done it in school history, so who knows what we're going to do when we get there.
Colgan now moves on to play Valley Heights in the Final Four on Friday night at 7 p.m. in Manhattan. To the 4A bracket now, Labette County also at home this evening, facing Lewisburg in the quarterfinals. Really good game tonight, but the Grizzlies fall 49-48. Labette County finishes the season 19-3 overall. In Missouri, we've got a pair of local teams with sectional matchups in the state bracket. Class 4, East Newton gets by Ava in a good one, 36-34. Class 5, Nevada outscores Logan Rogersville 23-8 in the fourth to win at 51-46. Now we're going to have highlights and post-game reaction from that one coming up on KOAM News at 10. Now that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
There may be a welcome drop in new COVID-19 cases, but many of the country's doctors and nurses are still stretched to the max. Healthcare workers in multiple states have walked off the job, fed up with dangerous conditions, they say. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez reports.
Hundreds of healthcare workers in multiple states are on strike, pushed to the limits because of the pandemic.
Nurses reach a breaking point where they say, it's better to be out here on the sidewalk. That's when you know there's something wrong inside of that building.
In Massachusetts, at least 700 nurses swapped out their scrubs for signs, marching in front of St. Vincent Hospital in Worcester Monday. Staff say they're overwhelmed by the sheer number of people needing care and cite hazardous conditions inside the emergency room. But many claim it's the patients who are suffering the most.
You look into your patient's eyes. They're waiting for you to get into the room. You can't get into the room because you're caring for too many patients at one time.
The hospital says they've already tried negotiating with the union and is calling the timing of the strike irresponsible, adding they have additional nurses coming in to fill the vacancies left by those on the picket line. Meantime, in Oregon, more than 100 medical technicians are on strike outside St. Charles Bend Hospital. They're claiming the hospital is refusing to negotiate with them over wage increases. Officials have hired more staff to compensate for any shortages. But some employees say many of the temp workers are posing a liability.
These individuals have openly stated that I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before.
Those on strike in Oregon are now entering their 6th day. while nurses in Massachusetts are in their second. They say they'll be picketing every day until there's sufficient change. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
When we come back, and check out a new fun show airing tomorrow right here on Fox 14 called Game of Talents. Multi-talented performer Wayne Brady is the host of Fox's new show, Game of Talents. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin spoke to him about the fun performances and guessing game in store ahead of the series premiere.
My gut feelings tell me magician.
It's a game of guesses, a showcase of skills. It's 5-time Emmy winner Wayne Brady. It's Fox's new series, Game of Talents.
It gives you performance, like let's say in America's Got Talent. It gives you game show, like let's say Let's Make a Deal. And it gives you me. And it gives you the fact that we can give away money in the middle of a pandemic. And we can bring light and joy, and we can celebrate talent.
More than $200,000 is at stake as teams of 2 guess hidden talents of mystery performers who never cease to amaze.
I'm always impressed when people love their craft or love what they do so much that they devote their lives to it and that they're good at it. That's the one thing that I talk to my daughter about. And I don't think that's a lot of pressure, because I'm saying whether you are a gymnast, whether you are a break dancer, whether you're a gospel singer, an animal tamer, a Rubik's Cube guy, a professional video game artist, a lawyer, a janitor, whatever you do, kill it.
And as a singer, dancer, comedian, and more, when this host is running the show, he can get in on the performance fun too.
I like when I need to ask someone, hey, show me how you did that. That's why I respect talented people so much. A few times I get a chance to jump in and maybe sing with one of the singing acts or dance with the dancers or get a drum lesson. I'm a big kid in a candy store.
Game night, let me tell you about game night.
Play along with Game of Talents after The Masked Singer, Wednesdays on Fox. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Okay, that whole spider thing. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of endangered turtle hatchlings being released back into the sea in India. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.